General Mohozi Kainerugaba, the CDF and military have now taken over elections. Leave alone the violence, beating people, military hanging all over.
The military has not taken over the management of the election in Uganda. Election is managed by the Electoral Commission.
Yesterday, Mr. Byabakama was hosted on UBC, and this is what he had to say in regards to those questions.
Now I've heard this campaign which is trending, akalulu kanonye, akalulu kalonde, akalulu kakume, atoka banje. That's what is trending now. Now you ask yourself.
What is your interpretation?
So welcome back, guys. Kakati, Mr. Byabakama has also come to speak about the kanonye, kalonde, kakume, then kabanje. But before we get into what Mr. Byabakama has said, 4 days ago, General Mohozi came out and told people that after voting, you go home. This raised a couple of eyebrows in the parliament and questions. Different opposition members of parliament came out and asked, has the army taken over the electoral process? Attorney General Kalyowa came out and responded like this.
We are telling you, and you must encourage everyone not to stay at the polling station after voting. If you want, when you finish voting, you leave the polling station. 20 meters an hour, 100 meters, that's perfectly fine, but not at the polling station.
The CDF said, go home. He didn't say, stay within the distance that is prescribed in the law. He says, go home.
I'm advising you as the Attorney General. I'm not advising you as to what anyone said outside this house. I am telling you, you cannot stay at the polling station after voting. You stay a distance allowed as per the law.
We need to get the government to tell us whether the military, like it did in 1980, December, has now taken over the organization, management, and supervision of elections. General Mohozi Kainerugaba, the CDF and military have now taken over elections. Leave alone the violence, beating people, military hanging all over.
The military has not taken over the management of the election in Uganda. Election is managed by the Electoral Commission.
Okay, so we have that clarification from the Attorney General Kalyowa. But most Ugandans were like, since the Electoral Commission is the one responsible for having put together the whole electoral process, why doesn't the chairman of the Electoral Commission come out and tell people what exactly should happen on the 15th? What does the law say, and what is the chairman saying in regards to the kalonde, kanonye, kakume, kabanje? Yesterday, Mr. Byabakama was hosted on UBC, and this is what he had to say in regards to those questions.
Now I've heard this campaign which is trending, akalulu kanonye, akalulu kalonde, akalulu kakume, atoka banje. That's what is trending now. Now you ask yourself.
What is your interpretation to this?
Yes, look, kanonye means look for votes. Perfect. That's what the candidates are doing. That's what their agents are doing. That's what their supporters are doing. You are acting within the law to look for votes, but acting within the law. That is okay. 2, kalonde, in other words, go and vote. Perfect. Any candidate who is urging his supporters to go and vote on polling day, I give you 100%. Perfect. That's what elections are about. Let every registered voter go to the polling station you are supposed to vote from and cast your vote. Kakume, because that's where the challenge now comes in. Some people are saying, when you finish voting, don't go away. Remain there. We must protect our vote. Remain there. You must remain there. We must protect our vote. Then after that, kabanje, in other words, demand for your vote. Now, that's where the challenge comes in. Because according to the law, because they are saying you cannot tell people to go away, Byabakama, because they have got to remain to protect their votes. We don't trust what will happen at the polling station. But we have said the polling station has people who are designated and recognized in law to be present throughout, and those are the agents of the candidates. And each candidate is entitled to 2 agents per polling station. And Section 35 of the Presidential Elections Act says a candidate may be present in person or through his or her representative or polling agent at each polling station. Listen to this. For the purposes of safeguarding the interests of the candidate with regard to the polling process. For the presence of the agent is for purposes of safeguarding the interests of the candidate. So, omukumi alirudawa, you know, this is the vote.
Today, yazina mateka. The other day, agamba bagenda kuba kube migo. Though I like that today he's reading from the law, because if a country has no laws and it's not run according to how those laws are prescribing, then there might be problems in the future.
Protector, the agent, because he has said his or her presence is for purposes of safeguarding the interests of the candidate with regard to the polling process at a polling station. Now, you have 8 presidential candidates. Each one is entitled to 2. How many are those? 16. You have 10 or 15 parliamentary candidates. And because presidential and parliamentary elections are taking place the same day. 15 times 2, those are already 30. Right. Plus 16, you have 46 vote protectors inside the polling station. Because these ones are permitted to be inside the polling stations throughout. But for you who is a voter, who has cast your vote, and you are not an agent, although the law says you can stand 20 meters away from the polling station, and that's what they are saying. How can you refuse people to be at the polling station when the law says they should be there? Granted, the law says you should be there. But what is your role after you have cast your vote? What is your role? Now, some of their leaders are misleading them to say, you are the ones who are going to protect our vote. Be there so that you protect our vote. Be there. But the law has said the known vote protectors are the agents who will be allowed inside the polling station right from the time the polling station opens, throughout voting, and throughout counting. Those are the vote protectors. So, if you are kakume, it is not every voter who protects the votes of the candidate they have voted for. No, it is the agents of the candidates who, in the confines of the law, are the vote protectors for their candidates.
And I also like how he is confirming already what most people know. Like, most people know that there is no way you're going to Kumakaluru if you're not like right there. The law says, go 20 meters. Personally, if I'm going to vote, I would go cast my vote, go home. Like, why should I stay there? Because I know I'm going to leave there like thousands of people. And then later on when they're counting, I can come back and I just like watch the whole process. And I believe that's how it has always been like for years. People vote, they go home, and then maybe kusawanga kuminemu kuminabiri, they come back and see what's going on.
Then kabanje, then kabanje means demand for it.
If it has been rigged.
Now, demand. Now, the law has said, after polling has ended, counting has been conducted by the presiding officer in the presence of the agents of the candidates. The presiding officer shall record on the declaration of results form the results of that polling station, what each candidate has scored. And the agents shall put their signatures on that reform to confirm this what has happened. And then the presiding officer shall give a copy of the declaration of results form to the agents of each candidate. So who is Kukabanja? The candidates' agents. Because the candidates' agents are the ones who are entitled to get a copy of the DR form. Not you people who are standing 20 meters away. No, they don't give that DR form to the over your 100 or 500 voters who candidate X. We are going to be here and to Kabanje. Tetuja kuva wanu to ino Kabanja. The DR form is being given to the agents, not to you. So please, as far as kukanonya, mukanonye, you can look for the votes. As far as kukalonda, you can go and vote. As far as kukakuma is concerned, if you are not an appointed agent of a candidate, it's not your work to kukuma or protect the vote it is the agents of the candidacy. Okukabanja, it is not for you kukabanja, it is the preside, I mean, it is the agents again who will get this DR form and take it to their candidate and tell him or her, this is what we have scored at this polling station.
Justice,
so,
in the previous elections,
yeah,
we witnessed cases where some of the agents with DR forms were arrested on their way to the tallying centers and so on. So maybe this is where they base their decision from.
No, but first of all, arresting an agent of a candidate who is recognized in law is wrong, and we condemn it. It's wrong. Unless that agent has been found to be committing an offense. But if not, he or she is deployed at a polling station legally and in line with the law. Therefore, nobody has the right to arrest an agent of a candidate who is leaving the polling station or at a polling station. But sadly, that form, we also, the DR form is also sent to the tally center. And a candidate, incidentally, a candidate is also entitled to have his or her agents at a tally center. Other people, they are agents at a polling station. They are agents at a tally center. So that these agents can witness how the results are being brought in, how the returning officer is opening that tamper-proof envelope, where the DR form is slotted by the presiding officer to establish, is it open or not? Is the seal broken or not? And mind you, when the seal of that tamper-proof envelope is broken, you can never reseal it. So the agents at the polling station or observers will be there to see or to witness how the tallying process is being undertaken. You get me? And therefore, there is insufficient safeguards in our law to assure the candidates that, look, you have enough protection of your votes at the polling station. You have enough protection of the results that are being tallied at the tally center. All these things are there.
Anyway, all things said and done, 15th is going to be an interesting day. I just hope nobody really gets to be jailed. I just hope nobody dies. I just hope nobody gets into any problem just because of voting certain people into offices of power. I would like to recognize the fact that in the past, we have not really seen violence on the voting day, like people being jailed or whatever, besides the few minor reports of polling agents being taken over or ballot boxes arriving a bit early and then nebasanga munga mulimu like 15 or 20 votes already voted and stuff like that. Like saa kumi na mbili and people already voted like, huh? Just a few minor issues like that. But the voting day has always been kind of peaceful. Though I believe the next coming couple of days till 15th are going to be really interesting. And I hope people don't die. That's like my biggest hope. I don't pray because even if you pray, I don't usually pray because even if you pray and the world had already decided that these are the people that are going to die and stuff like that within this whole process, you're still going to die. And I also hope the way Mr. Biabakama has described how the transparency of this whole voting thing is going to be on the voting day, I hope that's how it's going to turn out. Please, thank you for watching and please subscribe. See you in the next one. Peace.